Netflix, which owns Starz, owns Power. And 50 is on salary, and he's admitted that. He said he made 25 grand an episode, which is a joke to me. But it got him in the door to get bigger jobs. But he ask him. I'm not lying. Ask anybody that knows anything about television. And usually the production company is never black. So they'll put a black person to work for that company and put their name on it, but it's for a white production company. So that would be like Love and Hip Hop.
Okay, what about at the end of it where it says executive produced by 50 Cent? Is that just for show? Like what's that about?
That title doesn't mean pause. Executive producer can mean so many things. So sometimes people get what's called vanity credits. So they'll give you a credit, like if you put, it's just vanity. It doesn't mean, I'm not saying it doesn't in 50's case, but it doesn't mean he puts up the money or he owns it.
Dame Dash made a daring statement when she questioned 50 Cent's entire place in power. Dame claimed in his interview with Cam Capone News that 50 Cent's executive producer status was essentially a hoax, and he never owned or paid for power. I now understand Dame's perspective. He has always advocated for complete ownership and financial control as a businessman. You can't blame him for that. It's just his mindset. Here's the problem, though. Just because celebrities control the rights doesn't mean that power becomes a worldwide smash. The fingerprints of 50 Cent were all over that show. Everything from the tone that gave it that street realism to the marketing, the music, and the casting decisions. Audiences were captivated by that. That cannot be referred to as phony. Influence is that. In Hollywood, influence may sometimes be just as precious as ownership. Dame also mentioned that 50 Cent was making $25,000 in the episode, referring to it as a joke. However, upon closer inspection, that $25,000 was only the tip of the iceberg. 50 turned that deal into spin-offs, BMF, new contracts, and opportunities that led to the development of an entire media empire. That is the definition of smart leverage. Dame may be correct that ownership should always be the ultimate objective, but 50 displayed a different pattern. Writing the largest check isn't always the goal of the game. Developing the kind of impact that keeps your name in every room is the goal, and he used power in precisely that manner. The way Dame put it, this is going to start a huge discussion about what an executive producer actually does and how important ownership is. Before I play this clip for you, I would appreciate it if you could like it, subscribe, and share your comments in the comment box below.
50 Cent, and one of the things I didn't expect to hear was that 50 Cent doesn't own the TV show Power. Can you kind of break that down for everybody a little bit?
So let me tell you what actually happens in the real world. You might acquire someone's rights, let's say a production company, or someone will sell their rights to a production company. So I don't know if 50 has a production company or not. Then that production company sells the rights to the network. The network now owns it, and they pay you a salary to run it. They give you a budget, and whatever's left you can keep. That's why I was beefing with E1. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not, and it's a longer story than that. So Netflix, which owns Starz, owns Power. And 50 is on salary, and he's admitted that. He said he made 25 grand an episode, which is a joke to me. But it got him in the door to get bigger jobs. But he ask him. I'm not lying. Ask anybody that knows anything about television. And usually the production company is never black. So they'll put a black person to work for that company and put their name on it, but it's for a white production company. So that would be like Love and Hip Hop.
Okay, what about at the end of it where it says executive produced by 50 Cent? Is that just for show? Like what's that about?
That title doesn't mean dick. Pause. Executive producer can mean so many things. So it means you looked over it. It means you gave money. It meant that you just want your name on there so that you could get props. When you win for a movie, the executive producer doesn't get the Oscar, the producer does. Not the executive producer. For TV, it's a little different. But yeah, so the other lawsuit that I have that RICO, and I'll just say allegedly so they can't sue me. They were saying that I was supposed to, I didn't really direct the movie, and I got the footage of me directing the whole movie at my house with my camera, my DP, all of it. And they were saying they were giving me a vanity credit as a director. So sometimes people get what's called vanity credits. So they'll give you a credit, like if you put, it's just vanity, it doesn't mean shit. I'm not saying it doesn't in 50's case, but it doesn't mean he puts up the money or he owns it. That's not what that means at all. If you want to know who owns it, just go to ChatGPT and ask who owns the rights to Power. And then ask who owns the rights to Paid in Full. It's Disney. Miramax is bought by Disney. Disney owns the rights to Paid in Full. So if I were to do Paid in Full, I'd have to work for them. I'm not, and that's not, and I didn't feel, I'm not licensing Paid in Full, and I have my own Paid in Full. I was never telling AZ's story again. Paid in Full was AZ's story. So he might have got AZ's story, but AZ's story was the title was different, and it turned out to be Paid in Full. What was trademarked was what was made, which was Paid in Full. But I'm not telling AZ's story again. I'm telling Jay Black's story,
It says Starz owns the right to Power television show and its entire franchise, not Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
There you go. I'm not lying. Just check. Now see Paid in Full now.
Let's see.
Sometimes I feel like my name should be ChatGPT. Their name should be Chatty Patty. My name should be ChatGPT. Because I just
Paid in Full movie?
Yeah, go ahead. Who has the right?
Okay, it says 50 Cent owns the right to the movie Paid in Full.
Just read exactly what it says.
It says 50 Cent owns the right to the movie Paid in Full, having recently acquired them from Dame Dash, who produced the 2002 film. 50 Cent announced his acquisition of the rights in September 2025 and is developing the film into a television series with original star Cameron serving as a co-executive.
So that sounds like they're reading from ChatGPT a cap article, because I don't own the rights to Paid in Full. I never did. And he didn't acquire them from me.
Right. So yeah, sometimes ChatGPT
I don't. Now let me ask it, because I asked it recently. Nicolette, who owns the rights to Paid in Full? And I'll let you know, because your chat might be a Chatty Patty. That sounds like Chatty Patty chat.
It just says 50 Cent publicly announced that he owns it.
It just says, it doesn't say he owns it, it says he publicly announced. And that's true. But that's not, I would look under the hood. I'm telling you, Disney owns it. So ask it, does Disney own the rights to Honor Up? To Paid in Full. They're just reporting on an announcement, but that's cap. And that's the thing about algorithms. If you put something in an algorithm, people might say it so much that ChatGPT might verify it and it's wrong. But that other thing was very direct. You could go and look under the hood and see that. There was with no bum ass announcement, the facts are the facts. Ask who owns BMF. I don't know that, but I'm curious. What does it say?
I say there's no credible evidence.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was like, I don't see how anyone could have bought Paid in Full. Where did he buy it from? If he didn't buy it from me or anyone else, no one knows who owns it. But 50 he definitely didn't buy it from me. But I'm saying is the research is easy to do. I wouldn't believe every headline that gets in.
This goes beyond Dame Dash and 50 Cent alone. Here, we're examining two distinct approaches to gaining influence in the corporate world. The voice of ownership has always been that of Dame. He is the one who advises you to make sure you genuinely possess the keys to the company, control the assets, and have intellectual property rather than merely showing up for a check. That's his attitude. He witnessed far too many entrepreneurs and artists create something just to be subsequently shut down. Therefore, it goes without saying that he will view the 50 Cent's deal with Power through that prism. This is where I tend toward a 50 Cents approach, though. Additionally, influence is money. Changing the culture doesn't necessarily require you to be the one making the checks. Additionally, 50 Cent contributed the vision, branding, and authenticity that made Power one of the largest television brands. This type of creative control is invaluable since it extends beyond a single performance. Spin-offs, new contracts, movie deals, and even brand alliances are all impacted. We witnessed just that with BMF, Raising Kanan, and all subsequent developments. Dame laughed when he saw that it was $25,000 per episode. Let's keep it at $100 though. $25,000 spread across several seasons in addition to back-end agreements and all the power to introduce new series. That is an excellent example of turning a contract into a business. It's not always about your official salary, it's about the opportunities the deal gives you. Additionally, 50 Cent has been entering every door and constructing a new wing behind him. On the other hand, I really appreciate Dame Dash's perspective. The ultimate goal is still ownership. Everyone has the right to genuinely own the property they assist in creating. That's how you safeguard your legacy and build riches for future generations. However, we also cannot undervalue the importance of positioning, brand familiarity, and influence. You may have greater freedom in some situations by playing the influence game rather than imposing ownership in the incorrect transaction. So, this argument isn't about right or wrong, in my opinion. It all comes down to realizing that there are other routes to success in the corporate world. Fighting for ownership served as the foundation for Dame Dash's career. Using influence to gain leverage was the foundation of 50 Cent's success. Actually, both tactics are effective if you know how to use them. This is the larger picture. You must determine what is more important for your circumstances. If you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or even someone who works in technology or the media. Do you strive for complete control? Or do you use your influence to your advantage and turn it into chances for the future? Because if you make the right moves, both can increase your wealth. Dame and 50 are both legendary in their own way. They just have different ways of playing the game. As a fan of business, hip-hop, and television, I also believe that we can respect each of these media while still having this discussion about what matters most in the long run. Let me ask you all this then. Do you believe that taking control is always the best course of action, even if it means passing up significant opportunities? Or do you believe that leverage and influence can occasionally be even more potent than control? Please share your thoughts in the comments box below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.